Aloha, good afternoon. It is 12:41 on a Monday afternoon. We started work today at 3 o'clock. Came in and did the big box transfers. Load to the plastic distributor. Brought a big box back to our terminal. Brought an LTL back to our terminal. And then I was given a couple of runs. Actually, it's one delivery, and in order to make the delivery, we had to go pick up the empty from a construction site up at University of Hawaii. So we've done this run a few times now. Nobody really likes it because they've made the delivery area very difficult to get in and out of. But we just went up, picked up the empty, brought it back here to the shipping terminal. We're going to get the empty container stripped off, and then we're going to go look for a full and take it back to the same place we brought the empties from. Hopefully the more often I do this run, the easier it gets, but it's just a real difficult location. It's very, the ground is really unstable. They used a lot of big boulders, and I'm sure it's because when it rains it would become a muddy mess. So my truck doesn't get good traction on those big boulders. My tires are more for the road, not for off-road. The pin locks are now unlocked. Just gotta wait our turn here. From 500 Charlie. Empty comes off, we begin the paperwork for the next run. And I am a bit behind on my paperwork as usual. It seems like I never keep up. It's the chassis inspection reports that I always fall behind on. had to go look for a chassis. We already just used the one that we were using. So 500 Alpha. This pile here on the right is 500 Bravo. You can tell by the lettering on the ground. 500 Charlie. Of course, it's just a suggestion. It doesn't mean that's where it's going to be. What are we looking for? 010602. I have no idea what color can it is either. Huh. Prefix FWRU 010602. There it is. Ah. Found it. Looks like it might be 3D. See me ask me, when are you going to retire? And I tease him and say, when are you going to retire? He's like 10 years younger than me. Got to move one more and then we'll get hooked up to that. Alright, now our turn. Looks like the container is pinched by the containers next to it. So you got my container here, and then there's other containers on the side of it, and it's pinching one of the corners. So you can't get hooked up to it. Say hello, but on Friday we sat around for like an hour and talked, so I don't want to do that again. We got a lot of mutual friends. So we're gonna go outgate the container, lock down the pins. Call the construction site, let them know we'll be there within half an hour. I think this is like our 9th movement of the day. It should be. There we go. Jim, this is Max, the truck driver. We're leaving the shipping terminal with the full now, so we'll be up there in about half an hour. Okay. Yeah, bye. That's how you do it. Especially with construction, because there's always something going on. If they know that something's coming up, they might change their plans. Because they know I'm going to be plugging up the entranceway there for probably 5 to 15 minutes. Get the container wiggled into its spot. So DOT scale not open. It's 12:58. According to the paperwork, this is only 24,000 pounds. So it's windows, aluminum windows. So. Sand Island access road here. Get onto Nimitz Highway, go underneath the viaduct, make a U-turn, and then go up on top the end of the viaduct onto the H1 freeway. And then take the H1 freeway through town to the University of Hawaii exit. Should take us about 25 minutes. The shortest route, it's not the most direct route, but it's the fastest route. The price you pay will be surrounded by automobiles. It's not really the way the trucks would prefer to go because it's very tight. But we're going to the University of Hawaii, which isn't a real trucking area. It's, you know, it's all residential schools. School is back in session. Spring break is over. If I was an owner-operator, I'd do the tilt that work like this truck on the right of us here. But I don't think I would ever be an owner-operator in Hawaii. Hawaii's not a real business-friendly place. Too many hoops to jump through. Mindset to be a business owner. I'm much more of an employee mindset. I like to just forget about work when I leave, when I get off. I think when you're a business owner, you have to think about your business 24/7. Probably work less and make more money though. But as far as thinking about the business, you probably think about it all the time as opposed to an employee that just thinks about work 8 hours a day. harbor. But right here on the right, this road coming in from the right, that's Kamehameha Highway. And that goes all the way around the island. But the two run side by side past the airport right here. Same road. But there's no, as far as I know, there's no Kamehameha Highway addresses underneath the viaduct. It's only Nimitz Highway. Oh, missed the light. This is our last light before we get onto the interstate. Dispatch just called and said, when you're done with that run, you can go ahead and shut them down. It's almost 2, it'll be almost 3 by the time I get back to the, it's 1 o'clock. Yeah, 1:08. So it'll be almost 2 when I get back to the yard. It's 11-hour day. Now we made a U-turn and we're gonna get up onto the interstate. H1 freeway. Out in front of you there. See the punch bowl crater to the left. The Poly Highway, which is a mile ahead, runs over the mountains, but it starts at the Aloha Tower. So Aloha Tower is kind of like center of town. So when we pass the Poly here in a mile, we'll be passing the center of downtown Homewood. Out of this lane, go over a couple lanes, because everybody's going to be merging and exiting. Turn left, up and over the mountains you go. Come out Kailua, on the other side of the island. Of YouTube days, I loved watching YouTube videos of truck drivers in the Caribbean, because that's where I grew up. And there was this one truck driver in particular that drove in the Bahamas, Bermuda. He was a truck driver in Bermuda. And again, this is like 15 years ago. And he would mount his camera right here by the window so you could always see the mirror. And he'd drive around the island and be playing music on the radio. But he never would talk. He never gave me an idea of where you were at, you know, what was going on. So I always kind of wished he would talk. So that's kind of the mentality I had when I started my YouTube channel. I was at least going to give you a tour of the area, kind of, to give you an idea of where we are. So now we're in the second most densely populated area on the island. This is called Makiki. When I first moved to Hawaii, this was the second place I lived. First place I lived was Waikiki, which is the most densely populated. That's where all the tourists are. And this is the Makiki district, which is the second most densely populated. It's all apartment buildings, high rises. I live right off to the left here. 3 different apartments over a span of 10 years. Every time they raised the rent, I moved. You want to keep me as a renter, don't raise the rent. We can get back into the right lane. So our exit's coming up. So I think the University of Hawaii has somewhere around 25,000 students spread out over, I think there's three or 4 campuses. 4 campuses. The Manoa campus, which we're headed to, is the largest of the 4. no problems. The 45, you got to actually go up onto the curb. And your rear wheel will be up on the curb also. Alright. Oh, lots of traffic. You'll notice the students have, look at all these cars on the right turning on red. Oh, we got the green light over here. I'm the one in. Yeah, but half the students you'll notice are walking around with their head buried in their cell phones. So not uncommon for them to walk out in front of you. Where those tower cranes are working is where we're headed. Let's see how many people are looking at their cell phones. There actually is a law in Hawaii that forbids you from watching your cell phone when you're crossing the street. There's a truck in my spot. Never mind. Never mind. We gotta back up. Alright, so they got two trucks in there and they're offloading to the crane. So one pick on one truck and another pick on the other truck, and then they're going to move out and then we'll be able to move in. just sit here and hang loose. Worst YouTube ever. Forgot to turn the camera on. Oh well. We got it in there. It's in there really bad this time. I mean, it's good for them, but it's gonna be hard to get it out. Always is. Yeah, those big rocks are good at keeping the job site from getting muddy, but it's horrible for driving tractor trailers. It. We can head on back to the yard, shut it down. Probably let dispatch know that we're doing that. Yeah, we got there 120 and Jay signed for him. Jay. Like J-O-I. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Those cranes straight ahead are working on. Yeah, bobtailing back to our yard. Okay, I think we can shut it down. Turn this off. This off. That engine. Oh, pretty good day. Came in at 3. We'll be out of here by 2:15. We did 9 container movements. We drove 60, 70, 74 miles. Yeah. Same old, pretty much. It's not a bad day. It's just that it starts off just so slow. The first, from 3 all the way to 9. So what is that, 6 hours? You do 3 runs. And you spend like 3 hours at least 3 hours just waiting. But somebody's got to do it, so I did it. Some people like it. I don't care for it that much. I'd rather come in later and just work. Come in early, work a little bit, and sit around mostly. We're gonna head on home. Let's see, we got rice. We need to make a salad. I made pork chops yesterday. Or no. Yeah, pork chops. Kind of feeling like fish tonight. Maybe we'll make up some of those salmon almondine. We still got a whole bag of those. So yeah, we'll make a salad and we'll cook up some salmon, finish off the rice. Sounds like a plan. I think that's the same thing we had. No, we didn't have that. We had salmon patties instead on Friday. But that is it for today. Thanks again for watching. Aloha.